Just a minute here, let me get to the right notes. I promise you I got some. In this story, we notice that Elisha's servants had vision problems. He could not see what Elisha could. Elisha saw things, but not the other way. Elisha saw things that his servant couldn't see. They both saw the enemy. But Elisha saw things on their side that his servant did not see. Elisha's servant could see, and yet he could not see. Like someone who has lost his glasses or contacts. He saw the enemy surrounding the city, but not the greater host of God's angels who protected the man of God. He could see the danger, but not the deliverance. His physical eyes may have been tested and declared 20/20. How many of you in here are colorblind? Is there anybody in here who's colorblind? Jim is. And you know, it's a real simple test. They just put this circle of colors in front of you, and if you're not colorblind, you can make out figures in there, usually numbers, and if you are, and I found out too that there are some people are colorblind to only certain colors, and not all colors. But anyway, 20/20. He may have been able to see 20/20, but he's badly in need of spiritual spectacles, so to speak, or godly glasses. He needed to have his eyes opened. When Jesus was asked by his disciples why he taught the crowds in parables, he answered, "This is why I speak to them in parables. Though seeing they do not see, though hearing they do not hear or understand." And then is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah. You will be ever hearing, but never understanding. You will be ever seeing, but never perceiving. Helen Keller said, "I have walked with people whose eyes are full of light, but who see nothing. They see nothing in the woods or sky, nothing in sports, nothing on the street. Their soul's voyage through this enchanted world is a barren waste." The greatest and wisest men are those who see further and deeper than others. Jesus saw what blind eyes could not see, and he was therefore calm and joyful, even in the presence of agony and death. The truest vision, however, is a vision of faith. The world says seeing is believing. The gospel says believing is seeing. We had an interesting discussion this morning in our Sunday school class about the difference, if there is any, between hope and faith. But, I got a message. Okay, thank you, sir. Somebody's email, I guess.
No.
Okay, what is it? No? Gave it to the wrong person, bud. Go back and ask Mom who's supposed to get it. Oh, boy. Okay. There's a great spiritual world that we've never seen with our physical eyes. We have two sets of eyes. The physically blind have keen eyes. Lest we shall fear the troubles of earth. There is a fish, a minnow-like fish that lives in South and Central America called four eyes. And what's unusual about him is his large bulging eyes. I don't know if this video shows it very well, but they are so situated on his head, they can spend his time cruising along the water with only the upper half of each eye above the surface. The top half has a water lens, which amounts to a set of bifocals, giving him the ability to see in both the upper and lower world, so that he can see, both what's above the water and what's below the water at the same time. That's the kind of discerning vision we should have as Christians. We need to have our eyes fixed on the needs of those around us and be aware of the snares of the enemy, but at the same time, we should be careful to look up. I'm not challenging you this morning to be blind to what's going on around you, I'm just challenging you to, at the same time that you're doing that, not to think that that's the only world there is, but to keep your eyes also on what's happening above. That was that beautiful song I love to sing. Turn your eyes upon Jesus. Look full in his wonderful face, and the things on earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace. Elijah's servant was gazing so intently at the Syrian army that he couldn't see the chariots of fire. Chariots are symbols of God's power. Habakkuk 3:8 says, "Were you angry with the rivers, O Lord? Was your wrath against the streams? Did you rage against the sea? When you rode with your horses and your victorious chariots?" Psalm 68:17 says, "The chariots of God are tens of thousands and thousands of thousands." Remember what happened to Elijah? Chariots of fire appeared when he was taken to heaven on a whirlwind. Elijah's servant represent those today who concentrate so much on problems and obstacles that they don't see the power of God. Now, before we're too harsh on the servant of Elijah's, we need to ask ourselves how we would fare in regard to faith. Do we see the chariots of fire when we're facing serious surgery? Do we confidently trust in God when we've been slandered unjustly? When we're down to our last dollar, how do we react? Do we believe that God will somehow provide for us? As I see it, Elijah's servant represents a good deal of humanity. He's so overcome by the magnitude of the problem that he failed to recognize three things. He is blind to God's presence. He is blind to God's protection. And he is blind to God's provision. First of all, he's blind to the presence of God. Now, when we speak of the presence of God, we must be careful to distinguish between the omnipresence of God and the special presence of God as Father to his children. We believe, one of the things we believe about God is that he is omnipresent. Now that's something you and I will never be able to do. We can't be in two places at the same time, and we certainly can't be everywhere at the same time, but God is everywhere at the same time. Not possible for us to do as humans, and that goes up beyond our thinking and hard to get a hold of, but it's really true. The Bible teaches that one of the attributes of God is his omnipresence. His presence fills the universe. The little girl was asked, "Why is there but one God?" She answered, "Because his presence fills every place and there's no room left for anybody else." If you look carefully at Psalm 139, it tells us that wherever you are, God is. But then there is not only an omnipresence of God, there is a special presence of God, which is promised to those who follow Jesus Christ, who know and love him. Matthew 28:20 says, "Teach them to obey everything I have commanded you, and you can be sure that I am always with you to the very end." Matthew 18:20, we quote this one all the time around church time, don't we, when attendance is down, where 2 or 3 people meet together in my name. What? I am there with them. Hebrews 13:5 says, in a quote from Deuteronomy, "Don't be controlled by love for money. Be happy with what you have." God has said, "I will never leave you. I will never desert you." God is so big that the heavens can't contain him, and yet small enough to live within our hearts. Elisha lived within the presence of God. That's why he was so victorious. Surrounded by the enemy, it looked as though his fate was sealed, for the Syrians had come for him. But there was no terror on Elisha's face, no panic in his heart.